In today's Sharp Saturday video, we're going to take a look at a knife designed by our friend Joe Flowers, who you may recall actually runs Bushcraft Global, where he takes folks into the Amazon to teach them some survival skills and give them a kind of an experience in the Amazon jungle. Joe designed this knife for his Bushcraft Global outings, and it's from Tops Knives. It is the Tops Knives Brakimo, and that's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me here for another Sharp Saturday. And the folks at Tops Knives were kind enough to send me one of their Brakimo knives. Again, this one's designed by Joe Flowers for his Bushcraft Global expeditions, and it's a really cool knife. I've been wanting to take a look at this one for a while. We finally got our hands on one, and we're going to take a closer look at it in just a minute. As always, a big thank you to the folks at Big Daddy Unlimited for making these Sharp Saturday videos possible. And the way that works is if you go to survivalonpurpose.com/BDU, get signed up for Big Daddy Unlimited's trial membership for just 99 cents for the first month. Check them out. See how much money you can save when you buy the stuff that you buy already anyway. If you think it'd be a good deal for you and you stick around and maintain your membership at $9.99 a month or just 99 bucks a year, then they'll throw me a couple of bucks for introducing you. So if it's a win for you, it's a win for me, and I like the way that works. So I know I say that every Saturday, but it really is true. So anyway, without any further ado, let's get down to the old stump top. We'll talk about the specs of this thing. We'll get to doing some of that knife stuff. And even though it's probably not covered under warranty, we're going to balance test this one. You know that, right? They knew it when they sent it to me. Okay, here is the Tops Brakimo. You see it says right there, made in the USA. And the other side it says Bushcraft Global Brakimo. Let's talk about the specs for this. Overall length of this knife is 10 inches, straight on the money. The Brakimo has a 5 1/4 inch blade of 0.19 inch thick at the spine, tumble finished 1095 with a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58. Green micarta handles with bow drill rivets on both sides. The knife weighs 9.4 ounces and the weight with the sheath is 12 ounces. Features a black Kydex sheath with Tops's rotating swivel on it, so you can kind of set the angle however you want on this. And then it's got a great big old lanyard hole in it right here. You can put a pretty good sized lanyard. And kind of a swell on the handle right here. Little grips right here for doing pinch type stuff and different grips. And then it's got a little bit of a finger guard here. Nice sharpening choil here so you can get all the way to the very edge of it. Has a, sometimes Tops might call this a modified Scandi. Kind of a saber grind. I don't know. It's about Scandi height grind. It's got a little secondary bevel on it, and then the handle's got kind of rounded, just a little bit of swell here and a rounded flatness here, and then very nice pointy tip on it. Thick, solid blade. I like that it's tumble finished, not coated. So it is $10.95, so you have to maintain this thing. It's got little red liners on it. So anyway, by the way, the street price of this knife is about 120 bucks, so it's not a crazy expensive knife for what you're getting. So first, let's try the old redneck sharp test, because that's what I like to do. Some people like to cut paper. I like to check the old sharpness redneck style and just see how well. So I like to check all parts of the blade too, and man, it is okay. All parts of the blade are passing. Man, I reviewed a couple other knives today. I'm coming up with no hair on my arm in just a minute. So there's that. Passed the redneck sharp test. It's got a big beefy blade on it. I mean, it's a solid workhorse of a blade. So I think the next thing I want to try to do is we'll do a little bit of chopping. It's definitely not really a chopper, but you know, if you had to do some little light chopping, let's see. Like, let's just chop this little thing right here, see how long it takes to chop through this. So pretty good there, actually. You can just tell, I can tell how it bites in. And you can't really show that on camera, but you can feel it. I can feel it biting in really, really solidly. Just for kicks, I got this big old piece of privet, hard as a rock. And we'll just do a little chopping on it, just a little, to see how well this thing bites in. Kind of do a finger grip here. So it bites in pretty good. we'll call that one done. I'm not going to go crazy with it because there's no sense in it. So also do a little batoning because, again, it's a heavy duty solid blade, so we can split some wood out. And I'm going to try to split this down flat as if I were going to do like a bow drill hearth, because that'd be a really good practical use for batoning that is really difficult to do with an axe. So for the folks that say, I've never had to baton anything, that would be a very good way to baton, a good use for a baton. So this would not be good bow drill wood because it's hard as a stinking rock. But I wanted to also get into the middle. So this is kind of in the center now, it's been dry. So what I'm gonna do is now split some of that out to carve the old proverbial feathers, because I try to keep the test I do on all these knives reasonably standardized. And one of the benefits of being able to, one of the benefits of batoning is being able to get to the inside of some wood that maybe the exterior soaked up some water. And it's been raining here in Georgia for on and off for, gosh, it seems like since 1940, but anyway. So we did a redneck sharp test, it passed with flying colors. Chopping test, yeah, you know, okay, it's not a chopper, okay, but it did okay. Batoning, no doubt, this thing batons like a beast. It's a big old hunk of steel. Let's see how well this thing makes some of them curls. And I'm gonna try to not put very much pressure on. This is not the best wood for making curls, but it's what I got. I've had comments from people in the past about, why would you use wood that's not the best you got? Why don't you get the right stuff to test these knives with? And I'm like, you know, first of all, if you really had to have it in a survival situation, you're probably going to use whatever you can find. And, you know, so that's where we're at. It'd be nice for me to have some sort of a standard wood to test it with, but I just don't have that. So, you know what? If that bothers you, then I would say feel free to go ahead and get yourself a camera and start your own channel and do it the way you want it done. You know what I'm saying? Man, this wood does not feather worth a flip, though. I will give him that. I've used some wood in the past that just curls so nicely. This is not it. But let me just see. I'm trying to carve some really fine ones. Okay, see, I get some coming up there. And again, every edge is different. You got to get used to them. But I need me some good old dry tulip poplar. That's what I need. I love me some tulip poplar. I guess I'm gonna have to go on a wood foraging expedition at some point in time, so I have something to test these knives with. But I'm getting some pretty good little curls off of here, and they're not sticking on the wood, but they're coming off pretty curly. So we're going to call that one good. Now let's take the old Exotac Fire Rod XL, see if we can get some scraping done. I don't think the spine is going to scrape it. Well, it does. That's pretty amazing to me. Pretty unusual for tops knives. Usually you have to go way up here, and that scrapes really good. Really good. You want to be careful you don't want to mess the temper up and get it too hot, but let's just see what we can do with this. Finally, we got it. Is it going to burn? No, this wood is just too wet. So, you know what's next, right? We got us some of God's golden goodness, some fat wood here. What I'm going to do is, this is the same piece that I collected like 7 years ago on video. It's been stored in its outdoor storage facility, which is basically on the ground. I'm going to take and try to carve a little corner of that off. And look at, man, would you look at that? Just look at it. That is pure golden goodness. And it smells like it too. Trying to get through this outer oxidation so we can see if it'll scrape some fat wood. So the spine is almost sharp. See, scraping it up, it's almost sharp, almost. And it's okay. This part is sharper, but for scraping fat wood, the spine does okay. So we're gonna set that over here like that now. Put that back in storage. And put that fat wood over here next to that. Now let's see what we can do with some fat wood. Oh, baby. So that's just one reason I love me some fat wood. Okay, well, that was some of the practical testing of the Tops Brakimo, designed by Joe Flowers from Bushcraft Global. Do a quick recap. It passed the redneck sharp test with flying colors. Did okay at the chopping. It bit in pretty good, but it's just not a big bulky knife, and it's kind of short, so there's not a lot of leverage there. If you had to chop something small, you could, but it does have a good bite to it. That's kind of the rule of thumb I like to use to see how well it does. Batoning, as long as you baton something, you know, within 3.5, 4 inch range, 3 inch range, it's going to do just fine. It's strong, it's solid, and a really nice big hunk of steel. As far as scraping goes, I was pleasantly surprised. The spine, although it doesn't feel really sharp, like a hard 90 degree, it actually scraped okay. It scraped the ferro rod okay. It scraped fat wood just fine. And if you really need like a serious scraping, this tip right here is usually right here where the grind is, because they've already ground this down here to make the edge. It's a really good place to strike a ferro rod. You got to be careful doing that, of course, because you can mess the temper up on that tip because it does get really hot. But the grip feels really good on it. The handle. You know, I like Tops knives. They're very well made in the USA. I think Joe Flowers did a great job of designing this one, and I think it's a really, as far as the practical stuff, it did really good. However, you know, here at Survival on Purpose, we is all about the science, and to that end, we maintain a state-of-the-art cutting-edge knife testing facility here at our worldwide headquarters. And one of the industry standard knife tests we like to put all the fixed blades through is the aerodynamic balance test on the balance, orientation, and rotation device. Yeah. So I know, by the way, Tops Knives does not approve of throwing knives. There used to be a little note that came with them that says that they have a lifetime warranty, but it doesn't cover abuse, and such as they specifically listed throwing. I don't know if they still do or not, but we're not throwing, we're testing, right? We're balance testing. So anyway, we're gonna do this, and look, they knew when they sent it to me I was gonna balance test it, okay? They knew that. Surely they did. You did too, didn't you? You wanna try it and see? Okay, we're gonna do this one completely scientific, the entire scientific process and procedure. So the first step is whoop, 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 whoop. Oh. One more. Whoop, 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 whoop. There you go. Okay, well, we're gonna call this one balanced, and I gotta say, some knives I really like, some knives I sort of like, some knives whatever. I like this one, okay. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but after using it, because it absolutely is a functional knife, and it's not pretty, it's nothing flashy or fancy about it, but it's just a workhorse knife. It's got a big, solid, heavy-duty blade, a very comfortable, functional handle, no fancy doodads on it. Bow drill divots are about the fanciest doodad on here, but it absolutely gets the job done. It's got a really nice edge on it. Tops heat treat is second to none in the industry, and their manufacturing is just really great. Made in the USA and designed by Joe Flowers, made by Tops Knives, a really solid knife. That's the Brakimo, which I think is a word that there's actually from one of the native tribes in in the Amazon that was just wasn't even discovered, so to speak, by civilization until a couple of 3 decades ago. Brakimo is a word from their language, which they don't even have a written language, so I don't even know what it means, but I know that's what Joe named it. So I know also that I am rambling, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks again to the folks at Tops Knives for sending me this so I could show it to you. And thanks again to the folks at Big Daddy Unlimited for creating that win-win opportunity so you can save money and support the channel. And thank you, as always, for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a brand new video every Friday and Saturday. If you're not getting notified, if you're subscribed and you're not getting notified, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that little subscribe button and get subscribed, and click that notify me bell and all that stuff. But if you are subscribed and you're not getting notified, I would invite you to go get connected with my newsletter at survivalonpurpose.com/subscribe. Every week I'll send you an email newsletter with links to the videos, current videos, a link to an old video so you can see that, yep, I've always been a doofus, and any news offers and deals I think you might be interested in. And sometimes we have giveaways just for the newsletter subscribers. So anyway, I'll leave you at that. I really sincerely appreciate your support. Once again, my name's Brian. You are watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.